Hey everyone, I am Miguel Ballester, co-founder of Fairphone. Thanks for joining us. Today we are taking the next step in a journey we started almost 16 years ago, and a lot has changed since then. Back in 2010, Fairphone wasn't a phone company. It was a campaign raising awareness about conflict minerals and trying to convince the industry to work differently. Because it really needed to. Scary working conditions, extremely low wages, overuse of resources, products designed to be replaced rather than kept. For a while, we thought of asking other companies to change, but enough organizations were doing that already. So we decided to take a different approach and build something ourselves. That became Fairphone. The initial question seemed so simple back then. Why can't a smartphone be made differently? Not only in how it works, but also in how it is made, why it is made, and what it stands for. Our answer was technology that works well, lasts longer, and is made with more care for the people and materials behind it. Products that inspire the industry to act more responsibly. If we only knew what we were getting into. Since then, we've helped introduce fairer sourcing practices for materials, including cobalt and copper. We work directly with factories and mines to improve worker safety, worker conditions, and pay. And since 2019, we have paid 1.2 million in living wage bonuses to factory workers. I have been part of Fairphone since the beginning. And after nearly 16 years, one thing is very clear. There is no such thing as just a phone. Every device represents thousands of decisions, where the materials came from, who assembled it, how long it will last, and what happens when something breaks. Most of the industry doesn't want you to think about those questions. We build Fairphone because we think you should. We also focus on something that used to be the very core of engineering, keeping things in use for longer. And apparently this is still a radical idea. For us, it means longer warranties, longer software support, replaceable parts, less electronic waste. That means products that are modular and easy to keep. Impact isn't something we add at the end. It starts with a product from the get-go. Because responsibility shouldn't feel like a compromise. It should just be a part of what makes a good piece of tech. Last year, we brought all of that together in the Fairphone Gen 6. 5-year warranty, 8 years of software support starting with Android 15, 12 replaceable parts, a triple camera system with a 50 megapixel main camera, 2-day battery life, and 256 gigabytes of storage, expandable up to 2 terabytes. I challenge anyone to max out that much space. But the Fairphone Gen 6 was more than a collection of specs. It was the clearest expression yet of what we believe a Fairphone should be. Refined, considered, built without a compromise. Because sustainable technology doesn't need to constantly announce itself. It doesn't need a lecture attached to it. It just needs to work beautifully, reliably, and for a long time. We also introduced a new range of integrated accessories. This allowed us to explore a different kind of modularity, not only replacing parts, but actually changing what the phone can do. Together, all of this created our best Fairphone yet. I know how that sounds coming from me. I might just be a bit biased. But don't take my word for it. Since launch, the Fairphone Gen 6 has received an IF Gold Design Award, a European Product Design Award, a Circular Tech Award, and many more. Of course, awards are not why we make products, but we are not going to pretend that we don't enjoy them. More importantly, they validate something that we care deeply about. A responsible product can also feel precise, modern, and desirable. You shouldn't have to choose between your values and a product you actually want to use. So, it is the middle of the summer, and I'm featuring in a YouTube premiere. The video title is probably just vague enough, but you can probably guess what comes next. Or maybe I can still surprise you. Since I was up here last year, we've had a few requests. Long story short, you asked us for more performance, more memory, more personalization. So yes, we read your comments and we heard you. So this is the Fairphone Gen 6 Plus. It's a Fairphone you already know, but better where it matters. The Plus isn't about adding features for the sake of having a longer spec sheet. The Plus is about intention, improving performance, making the experience smoother, and giving the phone more room to stay capable for longer. Let's start inside. The Fairphone Gen 6 Plus is powered by the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 processor. It replaces the Gen 3 in the previous generation. We've also increased the memory from an 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM. That is the most we've ever put in a Fairphone. Together, these upgrades make the phone noticeably faster. Apps load and switch up to 24% faster. System RAM reservation time has been reduced by up to 20%. In practical terms, the phone can clear and allocate memory to background apps more quickly. Faster multitasking, a smoother experience. Less waiting for your phone to catch up. You probably won't think about any of this while using it. Good. That's the point. Performance should be felt, not announced. Apps open, things move, the phone keeps up. Future-proofing isn't about chasing every new feature. There will always be another feature, and another, and then an AI version of that feature. Future-proofing means making sure the product you buy today still feels good to use tomorrow, and well beyond tomorrow. And now, up to the next updates. We've also added a new color. The Fairphone Gen 6 Plus will be available in forest green, horizon black, and a new exclusive color, cobalt blue. The name references one of the materials we've worked to source more fairly over the years. Cobalt has been part of Fairphone's story from the beginning. And it is also just a very good blue. The color extends across our modular accessories, so everything can match, or not. Want to mix blue and green? Go ahead. It's your choice. On the software side, there are two main updates. First, Fairphone Moments. It became one of the most talked about features of the Fairphone Gen 6. Now we are giving you more control over it. You can choose what stays visible, what disappears, and what your focus space looks like. Because focus is personal. For some people, it may mean messages and music. For others, it apparently means 5 productivity apps. It's up to you. The second update is something our community has requested for a long time, a very long time. Fairphone Gallery. It's a simple, local gallery app for your photos and videos. Your files can stay on your device, no third-party service, no account required, no cloud required. No accepting 12 screens of terms and conditions just to look at a photo of your dog. Just your photos on your phone. And yes, the updated Fairphone Moments experience and Fairphone Gallery will also be available for existing Fairphone Gen 6 owners. Of course they will. Finally, there is one more thing. For years, one of the main questions we've received has been, when is Fairphone coming outside of Europe? I have heard this question at events, in meetings, online, and occasionally before someone has even said hello. So now how about this for a start? The Fairphone Gen 6 Plus is officially coming to the US. It will be available alongside the current generation Fairbuds through our website and selected online partners. This is a big step for Fairphone. And for me personally, it's also a moment to look back. We began as a campaign, a small group of people asking whether the electronics industry could work differently. Then we built a phone to prove it could. Then we built another one. And another one. I've seen Fairphone move from campaign meetings and early prototypes to minds, factories, repair guides, product launches, and millions of conversations about what responsible technology can look like. We've made progress. We've also made mistakes, but we have learned from both. And we've seen what happens when products are designed to last, when workers are treated as part of the product story, and when values shape a device from the inside out. We are more confident than ever about the role Fairphone plays. We are not here to become the fairest company in a broken industry. That is not enough. We are here to show what becomes possible when you build technology differently, not perfectly, but deliberately, better each time. That's the Fairphone Gen 6 Plus. More performance, more memory, more personalization, and the same reason for existing. Now, I'm sure there are questions. After so many years, I've learned there are always questions and we love answering them. So let's hear from some of the other Fairphone experts and dive a little bit deeper.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Excited to have you.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ellie, and I am the head of people here at Fairphone. I am here and joined with Miguel, Chandler, and Rutger, and we are talking about the new Fairphone Gen 6 Plus. Rather than going through an entire list of specifications and features, we wanted to gather some questions from our community, from creators and journalists, in order to have a proper discussion on why this one exists, who is it for, and some of the bigger ideas behind it. Some of those questions are going to be technical, some of them are going to be bigger ideas, and there might be a few Easter eggs in there. So, without
Exciting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So, without further ado, Rutger, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
Let's go with the obvious one, or maybe the 6. We did a lot of work last year on the Gen 6.
Yeah, we did.
Who wanted this, and essentially how much work goes into this new phone and the extra plus that comes with it?
We have a new phone on the market. That's the Gen 6 Plus that we have
It's gorgeous.
on the market. And the reason for it, if you listen back in what we've done in the past, we always had a new phone mid-cycle, but that most of the time was a lower device. So we downgraded the specifications a little bit on that one so we could bring a new phone on the market. But this one, we had such a great success with the Generation 6 on the market. We thought, well, if the questions of the customers are coming in, we elevate it. And we don't break a phone that's downgraded, but we upgrade it. So therefore, we have now a 6 Plus on the market with a little bit of better specs to make sure that we can accommodate the users that lean a little bit more on that one.
The little extra.
The little extra.
So you're saying we listen to our customers when we're making a phone?
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. And I guess I don't guess, you definitely do. You've got the hardware team, the software team, and the product team that you're running. What are kind of the engineering challenges or the challenges in general when releasing a new phone and the things that come with it in terms of making sure that it comes out right?
Yeah. So a lot of the engineering challenges of producing the Gen 6 Plus are similar to the engineering challenges that we face every time that we develop a new smartphone. And that is making sure that the components are working well together. There's a lot of validation, a lot of testing that takes place to make sure that the phone's performing as expected, but also not just as expected when it's in your hand and using a Wi-Fi connection or doing something that doesn't require connectivity, but also on carrier networks to make sure that as you move around within Europe, within the US, or anywhere in the world, you're able to connect to the ones that you'd like to connect to with your device.
How do you decide what comes in and what are the sacrifices and trade-offs that you need to make when you're making a new phone?
So it's quite interesting. So when we made the Gen 6 Plus, but also when we make any phone, we really think about how do we create a comprehensive feature set that really speaks to a specific customer profile. And I don't want to get too technical there, but basically we listen to the customer and we understand what their priorities are, listening, as Rickard had mentioned, and understanding how we can ensure that the feature set that we come up with makes sense for them. And we had a couple options. We could go with something that was a little bit more advanced. We could have also gone with something that is a little bit more basic. The basic variant, of course, for customers that have a more limited budget and want to use more minimalistic smartphone, and the more advanced option, of course, for the customers that are looking for a little bit more oomph. In the end, we had to make tough decisions, and we also looked at product longevity. And we believe that the feature set in this phone will also help to support that longevity far into the future, looking at sufficient RAM, looking at sufficient processing speed, to utilize future use cases. And whilst the 6 is great, the 6 Plus has a little bit more oomph, but going below the 6 was something that we weren't, in this case, willing to do in terms of the longevity aspects of the device.
And if I may add to the hard choices, because we are talking also to a community, right?
Yeah.
So we get a lot of questions about things that we could include.
The wish list is
the wish list is very, very long and different for every type of person. I would say, right, like looking at the history of Fairphone as well, I think one thing that made Generation 6 and Generation 6 Plus now hopefully very successful as well is exactly those hard choices, right? Like really making it, really thinking about the customer profile and leaving out what can be left out for that specific customer profile, even though that may not, be the taste of everyone. But I think those hard choices are very important when you want to come up with a very valuable proposition to the customer.
And how do you kind of balance the cost, the shelf life, the battery, the size? anybody can.
There is no
reach out
silver
as him.
bullets,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of conversations also with Rutger and his team, right?
Takes a village.
Yeah, in the end, is really about a hierarchy of features, right? And what those features mean for the hardware of the device and what is most important, right? And I think the market research also that Rutger's teams have been doing is super important there, because you can always fall back to that research and make decisions a little bit more data-driven.
But the repairability is really at the core. I can see phones kind of taken apart in front of me. It seems that it's still the mission and the point and the core of our products still.
It's so embedded in our value proposition. How could we do different, right? It is really in the mission of this company. So, of course, it is the highest in our agenda.
Is there anything new on the 6 Plus that you kind of want to chat about in terms of the differences from the 6 to the 6 Plus? I heard something about moments or a switch.
Yeah, so I think it's important when we talk about the software to note that the software is not just for the Gen 6 Plus. In fact, users that purchase a Gen 6 or users that already have a Gen 6 in their pocket will benefit from the new software features that we're introducing. We're introducing a gallery app, so you will be able to put your videos and your images in a local gallery app that Fairphone has created on your device. The other thing is that we've introduced some changes for moments, and I'll just show our users that maybe don't know, or people that are new to the moments feature, what that's all about. So there's this lime green switch here on the side of the device. And if I were to switch that, then we leave the standard Android environment and enter a more curated moments environment. And this you can really use to decompress, to take a moment to move from a smartphone-focused day to a moment that's more focused on the world around the smartphone. And you can adjust different profiles for your own needs. Now, we've introduced some additional customizations in the moments feature. And we've also introduced different switch actions should you wish for your switch to do something besides enter into the moments area.
Maybe just to go back to the gallery app that you just mentioned, because that's an interesting feature.
Yeah.
But what is for our customers, what makes it interesting for them, that it's local instead of always going to the cloud?
Yeah, exactly. So this is something that's really come out of requests from our customers. So as Miguel mentioned, sometimes our customers ask for things and we think, ooh, is this something that is appropriate to introduce within this device or feasible to introduce within this device? And this is a long-standing wish that we decided to grant to our community. And that is that you can manage your photos and videos on device. They're not being exported to a cloud, and it's outside of the standard Android and that's Google environment.
Yeah, nice. But that means also that you have a lot of the photos on your device itself, and there's 256 on memory on this device. Do you have enough place for all the photos?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question, and it's good that you mention it. In fact, the Gen 6 and the Gen 6 Plus have an internal slot so that you can put a micro SD card into the device, and then you have 2 terabytes of storage.
That's a lot of pictures shot with the Fairphone.
More than one.
Exactly. So take all the photos you want.
Nice, thanks.
Good. All right. We've talked about the old, the new, the repairability. Let's talk about the blue. Is there a bigger story? It's gorgeous. Is there a bigger story behind this, or is it just fashion?
There is a bigger story, of course, besides the fact that it is a beautiful color. It's the word cobalt, the blue cobalt. It's very, very connected to the beginning of Fairphone's history. Actually, I remember very well, like one of the first videos I saw about somebody from Fairphone, Basil, one of our founders, going to Congo. The first thing he did was visit a cobalt mine, actually. So, and he came back with this bag of, rocks, which was basically cobalt ore. So it really connects us to the beginning of our journey. Not only that, cobalt, which is a material, just to be specific, is in your battery. It's
Can I see it, or it's just deep,
inside.
it's deep in there?
It's deep in there. Yeah.
No screws here. No screws.
Too technical.
I wanted to mention also that Fairphone is one of the founding members of the Fair Cobalt Alliance, which works directly with some mines in Congo. And the Fair Cobalt Alliance has created this credit system. So actually, the more phones we sell, the more cobalt we put into our devices, the more of this money that we pay for the credits go directly into improvements on these mines. And we are talking about very specific things, right? We are talking about
air pumps so that there's enough oxygen in the mines, right? We are talking about safe changing rooms for the women that wash the ore. We are talking about safety gloves and protective gloves. This is in mines that are artisanal as well. So we are not talking about the big mines from big mining companies. These are people locally that make a living out of local mining, and the Fair Cobalt Alliance is contributing to make those conditions better. And that's one of the things that we do with the Cobalt credits, and why it has such a significance that we launched this color with this name.
This is kind of putting the fair in Fairphone.
Definitely, and we should not forget that we are here not only to make phones that are more great and more sustainable, but also to change the industry, right? So all of these initiatives that we talk about and that we create are important to really move the needle in the industry.
Super interesting. And kind of thinking about being a sustainable company, there's a topic that's on everybody's mind, which is AI. It's a buzzword. It's everywhere. I think have you heard it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we do have a question from Nathan Vithlin at Reuters. This is for all of us to join in if you want to. With the world turning to on-device AI, do you see room for private AI in our product roadmap?
I'll jump in there. There is certainly room for AI in our product roadmap, but when we do AI, we do it in our own way, in the Fairphone way. And we've also, on this point, been listening to the community, and there we hear that there's a strong desire to have AI that supports privacy, and that there's strong transparency as to what's happening with your data when you're using these AI applications. So these are things that we are investigating, and then we have some developments underway. Then when you look at this device in particular, we're thinking about AI use cases, then it's important to note the hardware in the device, which will support greater use cases than perhaps the Gen 6. And that's because of the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 processor and the 12 gigabytes of memory.
So that's what the Plus is getting you in this case.
Plus is getting you in this case, yeah.
And maybe also to add on that one, the gallery app that you just mentioned is local. Means also that it's privacy sensitive. That means that you can at least store your device, store everything locally, instead of going always to the cloud. That means also on the privacy sensitive things that it's easier.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that we're also looking into when we make decisions about where data is going, how to store it, being able to give our customers a little bit more power to keep things in the places that they'd like to have it.
And speaking of decisions, we've made decisions to expand into new markets. Maybe a question for you is, how do we pick what kind of markets to expand into? Is it the US and beyond, or do we have some other ideas there? What goes into this?
Well, it's a little bit like Miguel earlier said in this conversation about market research and understanding where your customers are, who are your customers, what do you want from us?
Yeah.
And there are already quite a lot of questions coming from the US on a day-to-day basis. There are a lot of visitors on our website. There are a lot of people on our socials already from the US. So we see that there's a movement going on. And if you look at the US at this moment, the right to repair is getting bigger and bigger. And the right to repair is getting bigger and bigger. But it's also getting more into different areas. So it's not only tractors or refrigerators, but it's also consumer electronics, and specifically phones. Yeah. So when that right to repair comes into play more in the US, we also see that people want to hold their phone for longer. And of course, with the longevity that we have with our device, we have 5 years of warranty, and we have software support until 2033. That means you can hold your device really long. And in Europe, that has been already the case for a longer time. You see that there's a tendency to hold your phone for longer in Europe. The average is around 3 to 3.5 years. Okay. We have an average of above 6 years. Okay. So that means we really extend the lifetime of the phone. In the US now, we also see that there's a tendency of holding phones for longer. It's a little bit less than in Europe still, but it's growing. And that means that we can support that movement further in the US as well. So for us, the US was the logical choice to go into at this moment.
And does the customer base look a little bit different there in terms of sustainability or what they're looking for in that area? Or repairability? I mean, it seems like it's important, but what about the sustainability side and our message and story?
It's absolutely something that we hear a lot from our customers there, or at least the potential customers, that they want to have a phone and sustainability is not about per se about the materials that they ask for, but more the fact that there's no planned obsolescence and that you can hold it that long. And that means also if you have one phone that you can use 6 years instead of 2 phones that you use 6 years, that's half of the CO2 emission that you have. Yeah. So that's the sustainability that comes in play. I think in general, people are not buying a phone because it's sustainable. They're buying a phone because they want a very good product to use on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's also been sustainable, but what Miguel just explained on the Cobalt Alliance, for instance, that's an add-on. That's a plus. It was last year already the audio products, and this year we're adding the phones, but we're also extending it to our own direct sales website from the US.
Nice.
Phones and audio.
And talking about audio, I have something here. There's something that we're launching. Yeah, there's something that we're launching end of this year, Q4.
You never asked.
Yeah, and these are the Fairbuds too. Very busy with that.
Fake?
They have something.
Well, your secret's safe with me and
Yeah.
everyone I tell. So
But yeah, these are coming in Q4, so expanding our audio portfolio, and of course being available also in the US.
we do have a question from Zach at Jerry Rig Everything. We appreciate your work. We've seen your videos and are big fans. Miguel, this one's for you. How are we balancing water resistance with repairability? And are we doing rubber gaskets, or did we get stuck with adhesives?
Yeah, with Generation 6 Plus, you get the same repairability that you know from us, same as Generation 6. So definitely rubber gaskets and not glue. That's really like a principle literally for us. And about the balancing, about the question about balancing, indeed, is always a balance. We believe like that the IP rating that we are giving is like perfect for our type of customers. We don't think that you need more than that, because why would you make a device that you can actually put underwater for half an hour if you don't do that every day, right? Like this is not a device for underwater.
Purpose, at least.
Yeah, it's not for for underwater video recording, right? So actually staying within IP55 then allows the device to be weatherproof, right? Like to be life-proof, I would say. You take it to a festival, misuse it, and it will take it. And it is a balance, because you can always do, let's say, a fully modular device that is like IP68, which means that you can put it underwater, but that would also mean like a thicker and bulkier device. Or you can go to the other side, which is using glue, as you were asking, right? And making a device that is very thin, but you cannot repair, right? So that fine balance between where we stay with Fairphone is important, and indeed we need to balance. It's a balance between the capacity of the battery, so how big the battery is, how big the device is, how modular it is.
Yeah.
Also about the customer needs.
Yeah.
Chandler, how do you know when there's a strong enough reason to launch a new product versus doing the yearly cadence that we see a lot of companies doing?
Yeah. So Fairphone has done things historically a little bit of a different way. We've really latched on to this 2-year product cycle cadence for our smartphones and audio products historically. And that has led us to a comfortable situation in which we can refresh our products frequently enough to offer our customers new features and the latest what the hardware and software can bring. On the other hand, not create an artificial impetus to replace something that you just purchased the prior year. So we're really careful to think about how we can continue to build momentum as an organization and stay visible, but on the other hand, not encourage our customers to ditch something that they just purchased.
So it's more also in the space of, we've got a new customer, this is what we have.
Yeah, indeed. And I think something that's important to mention on the front of longevity is that the phones are, of course, built to last, as Rickard mentioned, the 5-year hardware warranty, the 7-8 year software warranty. And that really means that after we've launched the device, it's not the case that our developers sort of dust off their hands and go start working on the next project. The case is that we have a specific team, the OS longevity team, that's devoted to ensuring that the software is being updated. I should also mention the software components team. So we're introducing new features, for example, for moments for the OS, but we're also maintaining it, introducing updates, making sure that you're still getting everything you can out of your device long into the future.
And essentially, so making sure that our users can use the phone, and they're not forced into buying a new device because we stop updates.
Do you think that's one of the common misconceptions
Yeah, I think
of
so.
Fairphone?
No, I'm not so much sure if it's a common misconception about Fairphone, but it's more about the fact that you buy something that you really own.
Yeah.
And you don't have to.
If you can open it, then you own it, right?
Exactly. But it also means that given the fact that we have such a long software support, it means that you can choose your own moment that you want to buy a new phone at some time. And of course, we know that it's not going to be next year, the year after. And that's something that we don't want to force you to.
Yeah.
And that's
We actually encourage it.
exactly.
Keeping your phone longer, keeping your device longer, devices.
In fact, most people purchase a new device when they accidentally break a device. So what will happen is that you'll drop your phone or something will break on your phone, and you'll find out that actually getting that repair done is so hard, is so cumbersome,
Or expensive.
Expensive, time consuming as well. Hey,
time consuming. You have to send your phone somewhere. You don't have it for a couple weeks. And then you start to think about maybe I should just get a new device. But most people would prefer to keep their current device because it's already up and running. It's doing everything you want it. It's really hassle. And this is something that we can really support our customers to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one final question. 5 years from now, what do you hope that people will say about Fairphone and how we change or revolutionize the tech industry?
Well, we are in that journey, right? But we are. I really believe that in 5 years we will be really the first choice for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really want to see. We've been putting much more effort in really talking about the product and the technology that we bring to the market and how good it is. And I think that's also paying off in the way we talk about our products. And I think as we move, then we really continue building this lifestyle brand that is really seen as this change agent within the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, to build on that, I think in 5 years' time, or hopefully sooner, we will see also competitors doing the same things as we are doing.
Yeah.
So making it modular, making it easier for consumers to adapt on the things that they like.
Yeah.
Because it makes it a lot easier for everybody. And in the end, it's something that we in our mission is that we want to challenge the industry.
Yeah.
And I really hope that the industry is picking that up. And that means also if we push forward on it, that means that more people have a Fairphone, more people will get used to repairing their phone again.
Yeah.
You could do that 20 years ago, but it's not possible now. It's strange. So if we are able to push for it and competitors are taking it over and we see more of a common use of repairability, then I'm really happy.
We actually want competitors to start doing this, right?
It's actually interesting. It's not just about the competitors. It's not this phone versus that phone. It's really about the consumer expectation, the consumer comfort with repairability, but also the supply chain, right?
Yeah.
We work with the same supply chain partners that many other smartphone producers work with. And if those solutions are within hands reach,
Why wouldn't you do it?
reason not to, right?
Yeah.
And then it becomes something that is more standard, more accessible. There's really a map already to see how can I encourage modularity, how can I make it more accessible for the customer, but also other parts of what Fairphone is doing. So how can I ensure that the people that are working on the assembly lines, the people that are mining the materials that are going into the device are also being paid a fair wage for the work that they're doing.
It needs to become the norm, right? And I think we are having a big effect and getting that normal in these set of standards.
Yep. I think that's a really great place to leave it. We started with Fairphone Gen 6 Plus, but a lot of the conversation comes back to the same questions. How do we make technology better? Who are we building for? And what's actually worth changing? Thank you to everyone who wrote in their comments and gave us questions from our community and journalists. And thank you to the people who joined me here today, Miguel, Chandler, and Rutger. It was really exciting to talk to you about this, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Please.